suppose she's very sad and crying. Well, let's see what's going on. Remember the green brush stroke in that eye. Another face. So here we have this line here. We're going to need the card again. Put it right down this line here. Put it on this side of the face of the woman. Here we have a native man. His long black hair. His ear. It's almost a side back view. And his cheek. Take the card away. You should be able to see the overlapping of planes. Now, you can see this anger is vented towards this man here, this native man. Goes right to the back of his head. But if we follow it up here, see the breaks? It means a break in a relationship. This man is obviously interfering with this white woman and this native man. So we'll follow this line along. We'll come to another native face here. Now this native face here is the same event as the native coming out of the water that Emily's dreaming about. We'll zoom in a little closer. This is a hard face to see, but it's important. Here it is here. Top of his forehead, eye, his other eye. Appears to be blackened. Down his nose, his cheek, his mouth runs right along this line. So we'll follow this yellow line onto another animal. Now this is a serpent. It means healing. Here's his head, eye, down his body to the flippers. Now there's something coming out of its mouth, so let's follow it. It appears to be an upside down E. We'll just flip that E up. And over here we have an M and a black eye. And this guy's also got a black eye. Then we'll go to this boot figure. Looks like it's booting him inside of the head. A little humor from the artist. Okay, we'll flip this boot figure over. It'll become an L. We have a Y right in this woman's face. Emily. It also says Carr. Remember the priest? Well, this is his face right here. Top of his head. It says Carr backwards in it. Here we have a C. Backwards C. A. R. And a large R. Emily Carr. A coincidence? Now, we're going to write this again. 45 degrees. We'll come up with another event. Remember the elk antler? Well, his here is a shaman or a medicine man. Side view. This is his head. Down to his nose, mouth. You can see his brown cheek. And this is his body. Now the antlers become his arms and his hands. It appears that he's reaching out for some help, probably into the spiritual world. Look at these figures. They all seem to be heading towards him. Does it represent the spiritual world and he's looking for some help? Well, let's find out what's going on in this painting. Let's zoom in. I have another face here. Be that of a woman. Remember that brushstroke? This eye? We turned it again. Another face. Hair, forehead, down around her eye. It appears that her nose and mouth is covered. And this here, hand, this claw-marked hand, represents an angry woman. What is she angry at? Well, let's see what she's looking at. Go to this figure here. This face here. I'll zoom in just a little more. Here. Appears he has a hood on. His eyes are very dark. Mouth appears to have a beard. And he's speaking into a snake, which belongs to this medicine man, his arm. Snake medicine is the power of creation and immortality. That would go with a priest or a missionary. Could this be a missionary? He looks very sick. Come down to his arm, to his hand. Would this be the Bible? Let's just back up a little. To another figure. Right here. It's a woman. Hair, forehead, eyes, looking down in this direction. Also, the mouth and nose is covered. Is someone teaching these natives, when these preachers come around, when they're sick, to cover their nose and mouth, to help stop whatever disease they may have? Maybe influenza? Possible. Also have another figure here. Right here. Be that of a lion's face, looking right at us. Forehead, eye, down his nose, to the mouth area, and the whiskers. Lion medicine is leadership. Well, missionaries are leaders. And this hand coming up down from the priest here, remember the C? Well, I think is for Carr. It's also no intrusion into this event. We'll write the painting right side up. And we'll go back to the elk. Here we have the antler again. But in here, we have a face. That of an older woman. See the face here? This looks like a hand coddling her face. Now we're going to go to hundreds and thousands. 1936. December the 19th. It's rather wonderful to get a Christmas letter from a man who loved you 40 years ago. He tells you he thinks of you very often. In the folder he puts pressed flowers. He ends the greeting with, I send you my very dear love, remembering the girl in her 20s who is now in her 60s. All the love spilled over me. I let it spill, standing in the middle of a puddle of it, angry at being drenched and totally unable to accept or return it. Let's go back to the painting. We'll zoom in a little more. Does this look like an older woman's face? Can you see tears coming from her eyes? Here, here. A little closer. See the tears coming from her eyes. It looks like a hand coddling her face while she's crying. Well, let's just back up now. We'll go to this man up here. Right here. Black hair, forehead, side view of him. These are his eyes looking in this direction. Down his nose, cheek, Appears to have a beard. We'll follow the black down the elk antlers to here. There becomes a hand coddling this woman's face. We'll zoom in closer. It appears to be a woman in her 60s. It also said in there that he knew her 40 years ago when she was in her 20s. Now this is going to get kind of amazing. In here is a younger face. Forehead, eye, down the nose, cheek, and the mouth. It appears to be a younger woman. See the both faces? When Emily was in her 60s, she was quite overweight. This is the woman's body now. It appears to be quite overweight. So we'll move along. To this event here. We'll zoom in. Now we'll go to the clip2 book. Sophie and I went to see her baby's graves first. Sophie took her best plaid skirt, the one that had 3 rows of velvet ribbon around the hem, from a nail on the wall, and bound a yellow silk handkerchief around her head. Well, here, there's a yellow handkerchief, but it's not on her head. But we'll zoom in and see what it's wrapped around. It's a baby. You can see the face right here. Sophie Frank had 20 or 21 children. I think she only had 20. And this is a yellow silk scarf wrapped around a baby on her way to the grave. This here is the grave here. Now we'll go back to clip2, chapter Century Time. We'll back up a little here. You could feel the space between the cemetery and the purple top mountain beyond. Well, this is cemetery. These are the purple top mountains beyond. Now we'll go back to Sophie. This event here. These figures, to me, appear to be Sophie over and over and over, taking her babies to the grave. Also, these figures here, if you look at them closely, looks like children just falling. What's the meaning? They're just falling one after another into the grave. Now, here is another event here. Just zoom in a little. Could this represent Emily going to the grave with Sophie, as it said in the book? Hat. You see the face